after we met, he asked me the question about kid, and I said, "Who doesn't want to have kid?" And even if I know many of our community doesn't want for the freedom of the body, don't have a responsibility beside themselves. And okay, I mean, I said, if you want to have a kid, let's do it now. I mean, we both are professionals. I'm not have a big budget, but I can work for it. And if we're gonna have this, start to doing the process now, because he is younger than me, Juan, and I want to see him and raise him. I don't want to wait 7 years trying to get a kid and 7 years lost.
You can't run. You
So
can't run as fast. You can't pick them up. It's definitely
exactly,
can't stay those long hours.
it's like I'm dying. I mean, hello, I'm not 20s.
And Juan, I wanted to ask you, as far as Sergio seemed very determined. He knew what he wanted. How were you as far as like on board with kids? Was it something that you grew up always wanting as well too in a relationship?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like while Sergio might have given up on that idea, given the circumstances today, I knew that I wanted to have a child. So for me, that was the deal breaker. So within a few weeks of knowing Sergio and seeing that this was pretty serious, I asked him point blank, I'm like, do you want a child? Because that is the deal breaker. And that's when he was like, well, of course, like who would not want a child? So that's what helped us continue the relationship going. And then within the first year, we talked about it within the first year, and he definitely, I was like, well, yeah, this is something that we can look into like in a couple of years. And he definitely was the one who was like, we need to schedule this appointment now, schedule this appointment now, schedule this appointment now, and eventually schedule the appointments, and we started the process. And so probably we started everything like probably like about a year after we met. We started the process because we knew it was going to be a couple of years process. So.
And now, as far as both of you, there's a couple of celebrity couples, someone like a Neil Patrick Harris who has kids who a lot of people can idolize or look up to as far as starting a family. But was there a Hollywood couple, or did you both have friends who had young kids that you could lean on during this process, or articles you could read about certain celebrities? And is there really a path as far as like support that you have had along this journey? I guess, Sergio, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Well, I remember in my time, Ricky Martin show up with kid, and we know who is Ricky Martin. So all this stuff with these two gay couple have a kid. Honestly, it's like I don't know, that people is in the basketball court for the NBA, just in the floor, like it's just privileged people with a lot of humongous amount of money. They just can dream with that. I mean, I thought that's a process just not for regular people. I mean, but it still is not for everybody.
There's also this bill that's coming through right now, HB 3709, that's going to let insurance cover a lot of these, costs that are associated with it. How would something like this would have helped you out, and how do you hope that it helps out other, gay couples in the future?
I mean, we had to take a loan really to afford this, right? So it's a loan that we're going to be paying for the next like 7 years. So while yes, the surrogacy portion is a big chunk of the money, like a lot of it is also the fertility and egg donation part. So I think if any part of the process is covered by insurance, I mean, it would be a huge burden. I mean, it can even if it's just the egg donation and the fertility portion, that cuts off at least like a third of the bill of going through surrogacy to have your own child. So it would have been huge for us. We wouldn't be in debt, or at least not in as much debt.
Well, I mean, also too, if you can't take the equity out of your house, if you can't take a loan, like if there's two people who meet, who fall in love, who have 9-to-5 jobs, this could pretty much be, unattainable, but it could be a dream of both people.
Yeah, this can be the only way for some people. Like for us, thankfully, like you said, we were able to get a loan. We did have some savings. But yeah, for other people, this is the only way that they could potentially have a family.
Now, I had read too that you both had gone to the Men Having Babies conference. Was that pretty helpful in deciding your journey?
It was helpful in knowing contacts, I guess, for agencies and fertility clinics. I mean, like, I work in the medical field, so like I understand the process, like the medical portion of things. So like for me, it wasn't like that helpful for that, but for me, it was like what surrogacy agencies are out there that work with the LGBT community, what fertility clinics are out there that work with LGBT, like that I didn't really know. So it was helpful for me for that. I don't know if Sergio, did you find other parts?
The Congress when we were
Yeah,
there.
the meeting that we went to.
Yeah, well, for me it was like, okay, now I'm going to a place where somebody gonna speak beautiful and try to sell something. But when I saw friends over there in front of me, uh, talking and about his journey with this, I said, wow, this is real. I know him. I remember I told you I know that boy. He was playing soccer with me. So he was always talking about a kid like me, teaching him soccer, buying his first soccer boot, and we were talking, yeah, one day maybe, but we should marry a girl and try to do something like a business. And when I saw him doing this technique with his partner, I said, okay, if he did it, I will do it again. I will do it too. I mean, that was fantastic for me because if I don't see him, I don't know if I believe in the system.
It's hard, because I think, probably in the next, like, 5-10 years, when it becomes more common, you're not going to see that one person from your past, or, someone on television. You'll have friends and neighbors, and, it won't, it'll become more
Like the
commonplace.
cell phones. Remember the cell phones in the beginning? Cell phone. Wow, he has a cell phone. Now, even a kid has a cell phone.
We definitely we don't have friends in close friends that have done it, but we have friends that are thinking and are in the process. So we're definitely seeing more and more, and so it's and they do rely on us, which is nice, to help people through the journey. They do ask us questions.
Exactly. And then final thing, to ask for both of you, as far as like one piece of advice that each of you would give someone thinking about going through the process. So hopefully this bill, would pass in the next, couple of weeks here, because I think it's supposed to get signed by the end of summer. But as far as like, one bit of advice as far as saving money or going through the process, or doing certain things at the same time, what advice would you give to another couple going through this or thinking about it? Yeah.
I would say, don't go into it until you have the money, whether it's through like a loan or something else, because you have to make the payments like right away. I mean, not right away, but like as the process goes, like you can't just be like, oh, well, I'll save it by the time the baby's born, I can pay it back. Like it doesn't necessarily work that way. So definitely plan ahead in the budget and budget for a little bit more, because there are, unfortunately, sometimes doesn't go as smoothly and there are some unexpected costs that happen. But I think definitely look out for resources are out there, like Men Having Babies. They do have some financial help, or at least some discounts they can have for some clinics or for some surrogacy agencies. So there's other ways to get help that way, and then hopefully this bill will pass, and then that will also cause a huge relief in terms of financial struggles.
And what about for you, Sergio?
Well, what can I tell you? If you feel as a couple ready for this, are you ready for leave a legacy in this world? And with this bill, trust me, use it, because this baby will change your world. And if the people ask me in the future after the bill is approved, hey, you think have another baby? Trust me, if this bill help us at least in the third of the cost, this time I will say it's very probably I will have a second baby. Not like now, like no, it's too much. And take it. I mean, take it responsibly. This help, it could happen, and just enjoy enjoy the short sleep in the night.
Exactly. Try to get all the sleep that you can.